Alright everybody, so welcome to this episode, and today what we're going to do, is actually, I'm going to show you the 7 steps to keeping a saltwater fish aquarium, and then I forgot my whiteboard, so I'm going to reset up the camera, and then I'm going to get back to that. But thank you guys, I'm going to give some time for everybody to join. Man, I don't know how to do this. DX1, what's up? Reef and Recon, what's up, guys? All right. Man, I feel like putting this whiteboard up here. All right, so you guys don't get distracted outside. All right, there you go. Fuck it, good enough. Wait, just a little bit more. All right, perfect. All right, so if you guys haven't seen my interview with Incredible Javier, make sure you go check that shit out. We didn't really discuss a lot about aquatics or anything, but it was a pretty cool interview. So far, I've been getting good feedback. So definitely go check that shit out. And then yeah. But anyways, so today I'm gonna tell you guys what's the secret steps to keeping a saltwater aquarium, any fucking aquarium. It doesn't really matter. So any saltwater aquarium, I'm gonna show you guys how to be successful. There's a 7-step process that I go through. Everybody might have their own shit that they do. All right, but everybody might have their own process that they do. But for me, I like to do the scientific method. It's a method I discovered and that I made for myself. And every tank that I work on, it doesn't matter what tank it is, I do the same 7 steps. So I'm gonna go over the steps right now. But yeah, let me present to you guys let's just wait a little bit on the steps. All right, so first step, let me tell you a story. When I first started, I didn't know how to really mix salt water or anything. I remember this one time I got like a bag of salt. It was the Red Sea brand, or I forgot what brand. It might have been Instant Ocean. I don't know what brand it was, but it was all clumped up. So what ended up happening is I needed to shave off some salt or make them back into a granular form. And what I did is instead of using a metal spoon or something, I decided to use a wooden spoon. And all I was doing was making with the wooden spoon, I was shaving the block of salt to try to get as much as I wanted. And once I mixed it, I saw a whole bunch of little sawdust in there. And every time I would do a water change with that salt, shit would always fuck up. So I never really knew how to mix salt water, but it wasn't until I went to the university and I took Chemistry 1A. And basically, I learned the basics of chemistry, but I did not know enough chemistry to make my own salt water yet. But one thing I did notice, or one thing I did get out of it from my Chem 1A professor, she said she worked with carbonate for her, I don't know, some kind of fucking paperwork when she was in, to get her PhD or something. But what she worked with carbonate, and the advice that she gave me, because I told her I wanted to makes my own salt water. She said always keep your pH high for your salt water, because the corals will dissolve and everything if the pH is too low. She recommended to add a little bit of carbonate into the water, or just some kind of hydroxide to keep the pH high. So that was the one thing I did get out of it. But it wasn't until I took chemistry 1B that I actually got a good grasp of what I was supposed to do. But one thing is, when you're learning chemistry, you gotta really want it. I remember on the first semester, on the first semester, well, they go by semesters. Well, on the second class of Chem 1B, which is basically the second half of the chemistry book, we took the first exam, and everybody in the class, including me, got a D. I mean, not a D. We got an F. Everybody fucking flunked the class. Everybody got an F for fantastic. I got an F plus for fantastic, but the highest grade in the class was a D minus. The D for dumbass, right? So the teacher, she told everybody, hey, you guys gotta all go in your room and sit down and see if this is something you really want, that you really want to do in your life. But like I said, what I ended up doing is I started reading the whole chemistry book, starting again from page 1. And it's the same book that you guys saw me last time with. And like I said, I started from page 1, really learning the chemistry. And I took the fucking punches and shit. And then from there, I was able to, actually do the equations to get the salt. And eventually I made this product right here. And once I got the calculations right, I went to the chemistry 1B professor. The chem 1A professor was Dr. Kelly, and then the second semester was Dr. Seamaster. Dr. Seamaster is the head of the chemistry department in San Jose State. And basically I took the equations. I actually got the equations right here. Fucking somewhere. Right? This is the actual equations that I took her. I'm not gonna show you because it's a trademark secret, just like fucking Mr. Krabs keeping the secret from Plankton and SpongeBob and shit. I ain't gonna fucking give you the secret formula, right? You gotta figure that shit out yourself. I only keep that paper just for historical reasons, but basically, well, just for me, for reminders of historically, but one time I lost it and I had to redo the calculations. It takes an hour if you really know what the fuck you're doing, it'll take you an hour to figure out all the calculations for saltwater. But anyways, as I said, I took that paper to Dr. Seamaster and she glanced at it and then she told me everything looked alright. So that's when I proceeded ahead and I decided to get all the elements try to gather all the elements and stuff, see if I could actually test it. And then once I actually gathered all the elements, I formed this salt mixture. And then I tested the salt mixture and everything worked. And this was around 2013, so it's been we're in 2022, so it's been 9 years of me adjusting and fixing and upgrading the product to what I want, to different specifications. MB Reef, what's up, G? Hold on, bro. Oh man, I can't add you on this one. Hold on, MB Reef. Let me upgrade you real quick, bro. Bam. All right, MB Reef, put another text. You've been upgraded, bro. But anyways, as I said, I gathered all the elements and then I finally formed the salt and I used it on a 40-gallon breeder tank. It's in my old YouTube channel that I can't access anymore, but fuck it, it's still there. But I experimented on a 40-gallon breeder and make sure I actually keep shit alive. And then once I got that, I decided to make this into a business. I went to, because I used to work at a pet store in San Jose. It's called King Aquarium in the east side. I worked there for like about 5-6 years. I can't remember, but I tested the salt there, and then eventually I was even able to start selling it there for some time. But that's how I got this salt. All right, guys. But it's all fucking scientific calculations. All right. But what the fuck does that mean, or what does that have to do with the 7-step process that I'm gonna share with you guys? So let me tell you the first 7 steps. But let me make sure I can actually see myself on the camera. Yeah, that's good enough. Fuck it. All right. So the first step, I'm gonna write all the steps down, and then I'm gonna talk to you guys about the steps. All right. So step number one. I don't know if I should make a box or something. I'm right-handed, so I'm gonna write this way. All right. Is that better? Yeah. Fuck it. Good enough. All right. So the first step is your tank. All right. Damn, that's a bad fucking square. So step one is a tank. All right. Obviously, right? Or a fucking pond or whatever the fuck you have. All right. Second step to success in having a saltwater aquarium is this. Is the chemistry. If your fucking chemistry's off, not only should you reconsider what the fuck you're doing, but you should just go fuck yourself. If the chemistry of the salt water is off, you're never gonna grow shit. You could be slightly off. You can maintain certain levels. Like for example, this is the band. Okay, so this is the band where you want to be. You could be off up to this certain limit. Let's say this is the perfect water chemistry, right down the middle, right? You could be slightly high, or you could be slightly lower, and you still be able to keep corals alive and grow them out. Past this boundary, you're basically fucked. You ain't gonna grow shit, all right? So most saltwater brands, they try to keep their chemistry. I'm just gonna draw a sine or a cosine wave. They all land right around this area, all right? So every time you mix salt water, let's say you mix salt water the first time, it's right here. And then the second time you mix salt water, because all the elements are going to be all fucked up everywhere in the bucket, right? It might end up right here. And then the third time you mix salt water for your third water change, you might end up like right here, right down the middle, right where it's supposed to be. But even though the chemistry of every single mixture, every time you mix salt is a little bit off, you're somewhat in between the boundary. And you want to be, again, natural seawater is at 1.025 grams per milliliter. I'm just gonna write ml. Grams per milliliter, all right? So what the fuck does that mean is that you get one milliliter of water in a pipette. When you weigh it, it's gonna equal clean fresh water, like purified water, is at 1.0000000 by definition, because that's a scientific fucking number, all right? 1 milliliter of water equals 1 gram exactly, okay? A lot of the metric system is based on water. Eventually they put new standardizations or whatever, but it's still the same number is the same. But in salt water, at the surface of the ocean, you're gonna get at 1.025. All right, so you take 1 milliliter of water and you weigh it out on a fucking scale, and it's gonna equal 1.025. So that's what that means, all right? But one thing to consider is if you live near the shore where there's a lot of rain or runoff water, this number might be slightly lower. You might go up to like 1.24, 1.23 or some shit. And then the deeper you go in the ocean, the highest it goes is 1.027, okay? So if you're in the fucking Mariana Trench or whatever the fuck, the deepest part of the ocean, that's the highest salt level you're gonna get. So if you're above 1.27, you're kind of fucked. You gotta be careful with that shit. I mean, I've had it tested before. Before it's happened to me, maybe to you, but I've tested my salt water and it was around 1.030. Your corals will tolerate it, but like I said, the number you want to be is at 1.25. The lowest that I've had a reef was probably like 1.23, and then if you have like a lot of parasites on your fish, on a fish only system, the lowest you want to go is 1.018. Below that, you might be fucked. You might just start killing everything, but it takes a long time to acclimate fish to this salt level. But like I said, natural seawater is 1.025, okay? So let me erase that shit. So I'm gonna erase this, and then I'm gonna talk to you about. I'm gonna keep writing the steps, and like I said, I'm gonna talk about every single step individually. All right. All right. So the third step. So what's the third step? Chemistry. The next important thing is lighting. All right. You want to make sure your light's right. There's different brands of models out there, but I'm gonna show you guys certain lights that we have. But another thing about lighting is you got to be careful with non-photosynthetic corals. So if you have non-photosynthetic corals, you don't want to blast them with light. Like for example, what do you call that? Or low light loving corals. So there's like sun cups and shit, or I forgot what they're called. I think they're sun cups. Certain gorgonians. They don't really require light. You gotta keep adding food to the water or whatever. Don't mistake food with nutrients. Like a nutrient, let's say you have nitrates and phosphates. That's not the same as feeding the coral, like actually giving it food. Let's say you need to eat something and I just give you nitrates and phosphates because you need it for your body or whatever the fuck. You're gonna fucking starve to death and die. So don't confuse nitrates, phosphates with actual feeding. But that's the third step to success. All right. Make sure your lighting's good, and then the next step is probably just as important as lighting, but I put it lower in the scale because it varies also. But they're both the same. They're both equally important. Is the next step is water flow. Bam. All right. So that's the fourth step. You got to get good water flow. I put water flow after that because certain corals require less water flow than others. If you have a whole bunch of acros or different montes or SPS corals, they really love that strong water flow. While if you have like polyps and shit like that, they might require less water flow. And water flow is very important because again, it brings food, nutrients, and it expels waste from their tissues or the polyps. So water flow is also very important. The next fifth step, I should have wrote them down, right? But I kind of remember. So after water flow, this is probably the next step. All right, hold on. This is the next step right here. I feel like I'm forgetting one. Is filtration. All right. So without filtration, I put filtration a little bit lower because the more filtrations you got, there's a different types of filtrations, but the more you have, the better. Like the best one to probably get is a protein skimmer if you don't have any other types of filtration. But filtration is a big thing, especially if you're feeding a lot. I'm trying to remember all the 7 steps. Fuck it, but filtration is a really important thing. All right, guys. I'll talk about more filtration in a little bit, different types of filtration, but that's also a very key important. All right, some people have different types of filtration. Like if you look at my tanks, I really don't have any filtration except maybe like Bioballs, but that shit doesn't count. I'm gonna write something else right here so I can remember later on. All right. All right. So after filtration is feeding. All right. All right. You always got to be constantly on certain corals. You constantly want to be feeding, and I put feeding last because some corals you don't really need to feed too much. Just with the waste of your fish or a little bit of fish food or something, you should get enough. But if you have like certain corals, like I got Bower Bankies, they'll do better if you feed them. They'll grow a lot faster. Acans, same thing. You'll see their feeding responses a lot more. And what the fuck's the 7th step? I should have wrote them all down. I'm gonna write the 7th step as man, I wrote them down, but hold up. But I'm just gonna write one down just for the fuck of it. is water changes. You want to make sure you do your water changes. I'm gonna show you a way where you don't have to do too many water changes, but that's a whole different fucking process. But I'll explain to you a little bit about that also. All right. So let me just go grab my paper real quick. All right, perfect. There you go. Yeah, that's all of them. All right. Fuck it. So I said. So let's get back to what we're saying. Back to the first one. Your tank. All right. I'm gonna show you guys different types of tanks. There's tanks that are pre-drilled. Let's say this is the front or the back of the tank or whatever. They're drilled, and then you put like a little bulkhead. It's a little fucking piece of plumbing equipment that you put on the tank, and then from there, it drops down into another reservoir of water, usually called a sump. And this is the types of tanks you want to get. I prefer tanks with sumps because you could add all your filtration, water flow, chemistry. You can add all that shit, all right? You could even add an 8th step, but I included the heaters. I don't know if I should include heaters with, yeah, this is included with chemistry. Fuck it. Because you have to have the proper water. Heaters, it could have been even another step. Or temperature. Alright. But I just included it in part of the chemistry because most of the chemistry we do is at 75 degrees. 75 degrees Celsius, Fahrenheit, or like 25 degrees Celsius, some shit like that. But anyways, talking about the tanks. So the tanks you want to get, they're called Reef Ready. A tank like this is called Reef Ready. Bam, just like that. All right. They're called Reef Ready tanks. And then the types of tanks that, before I tell you the type of tanks I got, Reef Ready tanks with a little sump or a little reservoir in the bottom of the cabinet or something like that. You're better off having a tank like that if it's 30 gallons or more. If it's less than 30 gallons or less, you want to kind of think about it or really know what you're doing. But most tanks that you find that are pre-drilled or anything like that, they're usually above 30 gallons, okay? But let's say if you have a smaller tank like me, I got a 2-gallon and a little 14-gallon-ish, I think it is. Those tanks are called all-in-one tanks. But it's basically the same shit. Yeah, I put an exclamation point. They're called all-in-one tanks, and I'm gonna show you a quick example of what those are. But basically, it's the same tank that you guys have been looking at for quite a long time. Hey Atkins, what's up, G? Rainer, thank you for joining, bro. Who's George Barajas? What kind of light should I have for my killer shark? George Barajas, I know a George Barajas, but I don't know if you're the George Barajas. Really loves the F word. Yeah, man. It's just that talking shit works. All right, so an all-in-one tank is just like this. You see that? It has all these chambers. So a sump, let's say if I had a sump, this section would have been underneath my cabinet. Even though it's not a cabinet, it would have been like right here. The sump will be right here. It would be pre-drilled, or I have an overflow, all right? And then it'll cascade down into your sump. But this is an all-in-one tank, so instead they built, I guess you call this a little sump, or these chambers right here. This is an all-in-one system, so all the filtration happens over here, all right? When we talk about filtration, I'm gonna talk to you guys what the fuck these balls are, okay? But like I said, the number one important thing about getting a saltwater tank is getting the right tank. Don't just fucking get any regular fish tank. If you get a fish tank like this, more than likely it's gonna be a little bit harder for you. I mean, it'll still be the same, but like I said, as long as your chemistry is good, you should be all right. But a tank like this, you're gonna be a little bit more fucked. Okay, guys, you're not gonna be able to add your heaters. You're gonna have a fucking heater like right there in the middle of the tank. Nobody wants to see that shit. Even that little one right here. It doesn't have a heater showing in the display. But if you look at this tank, you could drill it and form a sump. But like I said, this is a little 20-gallon tank. So once you get into a 20 gallons, you want to think about if you really want a sump. All right, guys. This is a 20-gallon tall. But even if you look at my little tank over here, oh yeah, and to answer your question, George, you don't really need a strong light for sharks unless you have corals in there. But anyways, if you look at this tank, you see that? It has an overflow where the water flows through right here. And then it has all these filter cartridges that I've never changed. I just leave them in there. The heater's right here. And then the water pump, you see that shit? It's down there. So this is an all-in-one system also. This tank is $50 at fucking online on what's it called? Target. Target sells this fucking tank. I bought one of them from them. I got 3 of these little tanks, but 2 of them are empty. Damn, I can't even put the damn lid on. Hold on, guys. Let me do it with my other hand. All right, bam. So that's an all-in-one system. But look at that shit. These shits closed up because I was fucking with the tank. Every time I touch the tank or the cabinet, they close up. But if you look at all the other corals, they're fucking solid. You see that? This is an all-in-one 2-gallon tank. I think it's 2.5 or some shit, but really it's like 2 gallons of water in there. See that? Fucking simple. This is a nice little tank for your like your desk or something. It's really small as fuck. If you get your hand, this is how big it is. It's pretty small as fuck. Right here, it's even, like I said, it's bigger. You know what I mean? That's how small, just for a reference size. But like I said, or if you want this way, it's not that much bigger. You know what I mean? Get your hand. It's about the size of your hand, about. But anyways, the tank's very important. Bam. Hopefully you can see me right there. Reef and Recon, DX1, Atkins, George Barajas, thank you for joining. Hey George, if you come on my lives like about 3 to 5 times, I'll make you I'll drop you a wrench, bro. Cause I'm gonna give wrenches up to I get 1,000 subs, so they're gonna be my first, what do you call it? My day oneers. So up to the first 1,000 subscribers, if you keep fucking going on my lives, I'll drop you a wrench. After that, I'm not gonna give you no more wrenches. So consider yourself lucky. Fuck it. All right. So those are the types of tanks you want to get. Don't get a regular fucking fish tank. When you go to the pet store, tell me look at the Reef Ready tanks. Basically, it's gonna have an overflow box. I don't have a fucking tank to show you. It's either an overflow box or it's gonna be pre-drilled. It's gonna have a hole in it somewhere. All right. Or get an all-in-one system. That's what these are. This one and that little 2-gallon shit that you saw over there. Those are all-in-one systems. All right. All right. So next step, the chemistry. So next step, we got the tank down, right? So next step is the water chemistry. I'm gonna tell you the major elements of the salt water, but fuck it. Let me tell you the chemistry of the water. All right. So let me tell you all the elements of the salt water. I'm probably gonna write them over here. So, well, before I write them down, remember the little drawing I did? This is the range that you could keep your salt water in, okay? So let's call this the safe zone. Bam, safe zone. And then over here, you're fucked. And then down here, you're fucked also. So if your concentration of your salt's too high, you're fucked. or the chemicals, they're too high, you're fucked. They're too low, you're fucked also, okay? So this is the safe zone. It's a small window that you keep all your fucking corals alive and still. And even though you're still in this window, you gotta be careful because certain corals, depending on what region you get, they might like it slightly up here, and your ass is down here, and then you wonder why that shit ain't doing good. But don't adjust just for one coral unless that's the only coral you're gonna grow. But anyways, back to what I was saying. So the major elements of the saltwater is obviously sodium. I'm gonna break them down by molecule, okay? Sodium and then chloride, obviously. All right, and then let's. I forgot the exact order, but then magnesium. Magnesium, and then sulfate. I think it's sulfates with the U, but fuck it. Sulfate, all right, and then calcium. All right, and then potassium. So these are the major elements in saltwater. Just remember that saltwater has a shit ton of elements in the water, all right? But these are the major elements, the ones you could actually start weighing on a fucking scale. After that, you're gonna need you need to make solutions or fucking make big ass batches of salt to measure even like half a gram or some shit on there, all right? But these are the major elements of salt water. If your major elements are correct, you should be good. Like I said, let's say your magnesium. So I'm gonna draw this fucking thing again. Let's call it right down the middle. All right, we'll call this perfect salt water. All right, right here. But let's say let's forget about that. Let's say your magnesium is way up here, right? You're still good. You see that shit? You're still good. Let's say your calcium is down here. You're still good. You're still within range, right? Your potassium, for whatever reason, let's say your potassium is spot on right into natural seawater. And then your sulfate, let's say your sulfate is fucking low. You see that? And then let's say your sodium, the sodium chloride. Well, let me write individual dots. All right, fuck it. Because depending on what element you use, your chloride could be higher than your sodium. All right, let's say your sodium's low. It's called sodium low. Let's say your sodium is also down here, right around there, and then your chloride molecule is right here. As long as all these motherfuckers are within range, you should be good, all right? But like again, natural seawater is natural seawater. The elements where all these corals come from, it's already been determined by nature. So all these elements would just be right down here, all right? That's the goal. The ideal shit is you want to make sure all these are fucking in line. You see that? They're right in line with salt water. This is natural seawater. This is the line of salt, natural salt water, okay? Like I said, that's the natural line of salt water. But like I said earlier, even if all these other elements are not in the perfect line, nature adapts. So you'll still be able to keep shit alive as long as they're within that range that I'm telling you. As long as they're within this fucking range, you should be good. But remember, natural salt water, ideally all the chemicals are right on the line. So why are the fucking chemicals right on the line? That's because for millions of years, the natural concentration of salt water hasn't fucking changed. It's only because of human activity it really changes. Maybe volcanic reactions and shit like that, but ideally, all the natural salt water falls right down the line. You see that? All these elements fall down the line. Let me just write Ca for calcium. They fall all right in that line, but in your tank right here, as long as all these fucking chemicals are right with that range where your corals could adapt, your shit will still survive, okay? So that's chemistry. But let me add on a little bit extra bonus for everybody that's actually listening. Let me add you another extra bonus. Like I said, there's a whole bunch of different chemicals in the salt water, but for those minor elements, I'm gonna show you the easiest way to do it. What I want to do is eventually form my own solution of all the minor elements, and then fucking start selling that shit too. Fuck it. But let me show you a few elements that I use. All right. So number one is this bottle called Essential Elements. You can buy this at PetSmart, Petco, fucking any fucking aquarium store. They usually have this shit. And if you look carefully, it says Essential Elements. You see that? There's other ones, Coralvite and all this, Coralvite, some shit like that. It has the same elements in there. Trying to find out what was in here. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you a few different elements that you want to kind of look out for. It's bromine. I don't know if it's bromide or bromine, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Depending on how it's dissolved in solution, they change the ending or whatever, but just call it bromine. Another one is boron. Another one is what the fuck is that? Not potassium. Strontium. All right. I'm trying to think of other ones. Believe it or not, even fluoride. I'm gonna add fluoride over here, but I don't want you to be fucking dosing fluoride unless you get you add a little bit of tap water and add a little bit of fluoride, but forget about fluoride, all right? But fluoride is also slightly lower than all these, but it's still found in salt water. I can't remember all these other ones, all right? But those are the ones found in natural seawater. But then I'm gonna include this one. This one's called iodine. See that? Iodine. This is the Fluval brand, but you can use any fucking iodine. I usually use the Kent iodine, but they didn't have it at the pet store or the fish store. Shut the fuck up. Alright. They keep bugging. Alright. Fuck them. Alright, so another element that you want to add is iodine. And I'm going to tell you, iodine. Can't even fucking spell iodine. Damn. Iodine is very important because iodine is going to help your corals and certain other things grow. Like for example, sorry, I got people coming in. But for example, you get hermit crabs. If they're going to change into a bigger shell, the iodine will help them grow. It molts. Basically, they get out of their outer skeleton and they go into they break out of their outer shell skeleton, and then they form a new one, and they're usually soft at this point. But iodine helps them grow. Same thing with the true crabs. Have you ever heard of soft shell crab? What that means is that the crab molted, and the crab's so soft, its body's so soft, it hasn't hardened yet, and then that's what soft shell crab means. Or when you start eating that shit, that's what it means. But iodine helps inverts grow. Things that don't have a backbone are called invertebrates. Shit with backbones are called vertebrae. Well, they are vertebrate, but they're called vertebrates. All right, like we are vertebrates. We have a backbone, but corals and certain fucking weird-looking creatures, they don't have backbones, and they're called invertebrates. All right, but iodine helps these kind of creatures grow. So remember, iodine is really important. All right, so we're gonna do a water change right now. Just show you how the fuck I do shit, so you have no more questions. But the amino acids is another one. But amino acids is also included into the essential elements. So So what the fuck are amino acids? All right, let me write that shit down. Amino acids are shit that's formed biologically through cells, um, or through, I don't know what you call it, protein synthesis, or through your DNA and RNA and all that bullshit. They form amino acids, all right? It's basically like a copy of the counter copy of fucking DNA and RNA and all that bullshit. But amino acids, just know it's biological shit, and all that is also found in the essential elements bottle, okay? But don't confuse minor elements or minerals to amino acids, okay? They're two complete different shit, but they're both found in the same bottle usually, okay? That's why I like using this one. You can use whatever one in the fucking hobby. There's Fuel, a whole bunch of other fucking companies. They start producing their own shit, but like I said, they're found in natural seawater, okay? But for the purpose of the chemistry wise, these bottles contain most of these essential elements, all right, these minor elements, okay. That's my bonus to you. Oh, let me add another bonus on top of the fucking bonus. One of the chemicals, I'm gonna tell you what this is, but you already know what this is if you've been following me. But I'm just gonna write down the anion hydroxide. Yeah, this pen is fucking, this marker's running out of ink. Hydroxide. What hydroxide is, let's say natural seawater has a pH of 8.3 or whatever the fuck, all right? Right around there. So what hydroxide does, let's say your pH is low, hydroxide will pick up your pH high. And most hydroxides have a pH higher than 8. They can range between 8 to 12, well, let's just call it 14. Hydroxides can range anywhere from 8 to 14 in the natural pH of their element. All right? But if you go past 8.3, you got to be careful, right? I mean, most of us, we try to go to 8.3, 8.4 in the aquarium hobby. But most tanks, because of all the acidic shit they keep adding, or your sand bed is nasty as fuck, your pH might be closer to 8.0 to 8.3. All right? Below that, you got to be careful, all right? But for sure, most tanks, probably even mine right now, they might be anywhere within these two ranges, okay? Anywhere around there. But the target goal is 8.3, 8.4, all right? So remember, hydroxide is going to pick up your pH, but in order to stabilize it, or if you don't have hydroxide, this is the best shit to use right here. We're not gonna promote these motherfuckers, but bam, all right. We're not gonna be promoting them, but it's baking soda. All right, baking soda naturally has a pH already around 8.3. All right. So, anyways, baking soda has already a natural pH around 8.3. So you're gonna see me using that right now during the water change. I'm gonna add it to the tank, or I could even add it right now. It's up to you, but I'm gonna show you how to use that shit right now also. All right. So that's pretty much it with chemistry. All right. So you heard me talk about the major elements, the minor elements, hydroxide, baking soda, all right? That's all chemistry, okay? And that's why if your chemistry is fucking not where it's supposed to be, you could just fucking disregard everything you're gonna fucking do, because it's not gonna work out. Because chemistry is the #1 important thing. Ask any of your YouTubers that you fucking follow, they'll tell you chemistry is the most important. If they don't, it's because they're fucking stupid, all right? Alright, so first let's catch up. Oh, that phone died. Let me grab my other one. let's catch up on comments until we go to lighting. Okay, I'll tell you what kind of lighting there is, or what kind of lighting you should be using. I have to log on to my other account real quick. That way I can see what you guys are writing. Alright, perfect. Two football lights. Alright, let me George Barajas. Really loves the F word, yup. MB Reef, the Rainer, Reef and Recon. What light should I have for my killer shark? Like I said, George, you have any light. Christmas light. This depends on the species of shark. Lurking and working. 2 football spotlights should be enough to start with. MB Reef, don't forget to have fun. It's the best tip I've gotten. Yeah, MB Atkins, that's the best shit. You gotta have fun, but a lot of people want to have fun making money. Rainer, don't forget to hammer. Oh shit, you want me to break the scale? DX1, TRR. I switched to Red Sea Coral Pro. Too soon to tell how it will affect the corals, but alkalinity already higher, and so is pH. Yeah, that's cool shit. Alright, so next step is going to be lighting, alright? Oh, another thing with chemistry before I go ahead, I'm just going to include it in filtration, fuck it, heaters. It could have been easily an 8-step system, alright? But we're just going to include it over here also. Alright, so the next thing is lighting. There's different types of lights. I use them all. I use the T5s, T8s, basically all those fluorescent bulbs. So the way they work is they have certain chemicals in the bulb that when you pass electricity, it releases a certain wavelength. The next step up. Alright, I wasn't going to take it out because I'm making a fucking mess, but this is a metal halide right here, alright? Metal halide is the best shit ever. If you use a metal halide on LEDs, you'll get really good growth and coloration. But the way the metal halide works is that there's gas is filled inside the tube, and like I said, just like fluorescent and any fluorescent light, you pass electricity and it'll ignite. Will start releasing a certain wavelength. The molecules inside the gas will start releasing a certain wavelengths. This is a 20,000 Kelvin temperature bulb, but normally in salt water you want to have anywhere between 10 to 20 Kelvin temperatures. I tried 14K and 12,000 Kelvin, but really the 20 is my favorite. I like having the bluer look. It's a bluish, whitish look. I can tell you right now with the LEDs, but chronologically in the hobby, we started using metal halides and we started getting pretty good growth. The only downside is you're going to be wasting a lot of electricity, but like I said, metal halides has been proven. And like I said, if you have lower light corals, you might not want to go with the metal halide. But this is my little metal halide. It's obviously old. It's a little aquamatic. You see that? But this light is pretty old, but it still works, and they're pretty reliable. But like I said, a metal halide with LEDs, set all your LEDs to blue, because this is going to produce pretty much a whiter light compared to even the bluest of the LEDs. But this is a really good light, alright? So like I said, metal halides, people use fluorescents, but for fluorescent bulbs like T8s and T5s. But metal halides is the way to go. But if you want to save electricity or chronologically in the hobby, when LEDs started coming out around 2008ish, or yeah, around 2008, something like that, maybe 6 or some shit like that. 2010, LEDs took over the hobby because they produce a lot of output, um, and then also they were more efficient. All right. Man. Oh fuck! I forgot a whole bunch of shit that I have in there. All right, so now we're gonna talk about LEDs because LEDs is the top shit in the hobby. Hey, Pinch or Pinche Know It All. Hold on, bro. Let me upgrade you. All right. Hey, Pinche Know It All. Add another comment, bro. You've been upgraded, bro. Especially since you were one of the interviews I did. All right. Bam. All right. So we talked about chemistry, and now we're gonna work on the second half of the lighting. Okay. So there's different types of LED lights. If you guys could know any brands that are proven, let me know. But we're gonna talk about different brands. I think there's Radions. Some shit like that. Radions. Damn, what other brands of LED lights are there that are proven? If you guys could start typing fucking LED lights, I can't remember off the top of my head. Damn. Oh, Hydras. Now they're coming to me. So there's Hydras, AIs, and a few other ones. But the one I got and the one that I highly recommend, I'm gonna put Radions on this side. Bam. But the one I recommend, the one I actually like using because of what they do, is the Kessel. The Kessel brand. I really like the Kessel brand, but just know that those are also, they have been proven. My tank running with the Necro Marine LED light. It was cheap. Today I finished my cover 185 tank with the lid, soft corals, fish, and the Kessel 360s. Yeah, see, Rainer knows what's up. So Kessel is probably my favorite of all the LED lights, but just know, get one from a name brand that everybody uses in the hobby, and you should be solid. But Kessel is the ones I use. And the thing with Kessels, if you saw my metal halide, it produces like a shimmer in the water, like in the bottom of your tank. You see all these little squiggly lines, kind of like in the bottom of a swimming pool. The metal halide and the Kessels produce this exact same squiggly lines. If you use fluorescent light bulbs or a different type of LED light, you might not really get this. But just know that metal halides produces the best shimmer. Bam. So just know that metal halides produce the best shimmer that mimics the ocean the best in terms of like if you're in a lower water depth or whatever. The metal halides produces that shimmer kind of like in the bottom of a swimming pool. When you go swimming, you see all the lights in the bottom of the pool, or I don't know, that wavy shit. The Kessel is the next brand that does that. So let me show you my Kessels right now. And like I said, I use Kessels on my little mini tank. See that? This is a Kessel 880. The 880 is the weakest Kessel that they have. If you have a tank bigger than 20 gallons, I recommend the next size up. But you see the shimmering in the bottom of the, or even in the rockworks. Oh, right here's perfect. You see that shimmer? The metal halide is gonna give you the best fucking shimmer, but Kessel is the only LED brand that really mimics that. And it all depends on how much water you're breaking on the surface. You see that? But like I said, for your lighting, those are all the types of lightings you could use. But like I said, get one from a manufacturer or something that from a proven brand. Don't just get any cheap LED light. If you do, you might not get the colors or the growth that you want. 4 T5 Zoas. Yeah, see Rainer using the T5s. I remember that shit. The old school shit. Kessel for the win. I love those caustic lines. Yeah. Sean Clark, thank you for joining, bro. Like I said, anybody that I see show up like around 5 times in my lives, I'll drop you a wrench, all right? Or if I know you from a different channel, but for sure, if I keep seeing you returning on my lives, I'll drop a wrench. But Sean Clark, thank you for joining, bro. I still remember you subscribed to my channel after that one live from Reef or something like that. But like I said, I'm only gonna drop wrenches for the first 1,000 subscribers and that are actually active with the channel. All right, so we did the tank, the chemistry, and the lighting, and now the water flow. Water flow is very important in the hobby. There's a whole bunch of different fucking pumps and shit like that, but I'm not really gonna mention some. But I know there's like gyres. There's a whole bunch of different types of water flow in the hobby, but my favorite that you guys probably don't even know of are called wave makers. Surge makers. If you've been in the hobby for 10 years or less, you probably don't even know what the fuck a surge maker is. All right, but if you've been in the hobby since the 1980s, you definitely know what a surge maker is. So all that is, there's a little reservoir. Let's say this is the tank right here, my tank. There's a little reservoir or another tank above it that after it fills up with a certain amount of water, all that water is siphoned into your display, and it basically forms that water current. Monterey Bay Aquarium, they have a really cool surge maker in their in one of the reef tanks that they have. But all this water that's up here, it drains rapidly into this tank, into your display. And it basically forms that real strong water movement, kind of mimicking the wave actions or water currents in the ocean. So surge makers is a lost technology, but the next tank that I set up, it's gonna have a little surge maker that I'm gonna make. All right. The best way, like back then, they used to use like a toilet seat plunger kind of shit. Once it fills up, it would open, and then all the water would come out. But now, because of all the weed motherfuckers, all the people that grow weed and shit, the aquaponic motherfuckers, or hydroponic motherfuckers, they have this thing called a siphon bell. Alright? It's a siphon bell, and it goes right under, or right in the bottom of the tank. And after a certain water level, it all drops down. But what happens with the siphon bell when they're growing like weed or all these plants and shit, let's say this is the bottom of the thing, and then right here are the plants or whatever. So what it does is that the dirt or the plant roots need get oxygen. So when the water level drops, the plants are exposed. I mean, the roots are exposed to oxygen. All right. And this bell siphon, they use it so the water will flow through into the reservoir in the bottom. But um, me, when I set up a surge maker, because watch, nobody in the fucking hobby knows what a surge maker is, or very few. I know like there's one dude that knows, but other than that, nobody else really knows what a surge maker. You're gonna find a whole bunch of motherfuckers fucking start talking about surge makers just because I fucking started talking about it. But but yeah, a surge maker with a siphon bell, it doesn't have any mechanical parts, so that's what I'm gonna do on my next build. All right, guys, add a surge maker with a siphon bell on the reservoir. That way I could get that water current surging into the tank. Okay, but that's something unique about water flow that nobody knows, or it's a lost technology. But I fucking love that shit. But you could just stick traditionally with the power heads and all that bullshit, the return pumps and all that. All right, but surge makers, like I said, it's a lost technology, and that's honestly what I prefer to use. Also, there's alternating pumps and direct current pumps, but all that is just what type of electricity you're using. All DC pumps, they convert the AC power to DC power, so alternating current to direct current. But all that does is gives you the benefit of control your waves or the how fast the water is moving. But that shit all just falls down into power heads and pumps and shit like that, all the mechanical shit. But I could easily add that over here, but like I said, water flow is very important because, like I said, water flow will bring nutrients, food, and all that shit to the coral, and also the waste, or make the waste go away, or make the waste flow somewhere else. All right. Now we're gonna talk about filtration. All right. So filtration, I added heaters right here, so I should have just put mechanical equipment. Um, so for filtration, there's different types of filtrations, but the number one you want to probably get is called the skimmer, a protein skimmer or a foam refractionator, or to form or to do foam refraction. Basically, like I said, all it does is form like bubbles on the. Let me just fucking show you. Alright, so this is a little mini protein skimmer right here. So all it does is that there's a little water pump at the bottom or inside the skimmer, depending who made it. And then all these bubbles and water flow go up here into this little cup, and right on the neck of the protein skimmer or the cup, it forms bubbles, and then you get all this waste collecting on the top of the or inside the cup. Basically, all you're mimicking are the waves crashing in the shore. All that nasty foam that you see that people swim in, that's all the waste of the ocean, all right? But this little device mimics that or replicates that process, all right? But like I said, a protein skimmer you want to get, this is a little mini hang-on skimmer. It uses a little magnet you could hold it on top of the between the glass. It's a pretty strong little shit. But yeah, protein skimmer is probably the number one filtration you want to get. Bang. Fuck it. Alright. There's different types of filtration. Like, I'm just going to talk about them. Or I might just mention them, but there's nitrate sulfate reactors, there's phosphate reactors, fucking calcium reactors, there's a fucking reactor for fucking everything, alright? So we're just gonna call them reactors. Also, even something as simple as filter socks, filter cups, filter pads, all that shit is just fucking filtration. But the number one filtration, like I said in the hobby, there's also Bioballs. I'll tell you what Bioballs are, but the number one filtration is the rocks. We call it the live rock and also the sand. But a lot of people don't really add sand anymore, but sand's also part of the filtration. But the live rock or the rocks of the ocean are the number one source of filtration. It's what holds all the bacteria, all right? And that's what keeps everything alive. But in the 1980s to the 1990s, uh, they couldn't really keep corals, saltwater aquariums alive. So they invented this shit called bioballs. See that? Bioballs, alright? So let me show you what bioballs look like. You see these little balls right here? These are bioballs, and they house all the bacteria that you need. See that? I just throw them in there, so in case the fish reproduce or I need to put the tank or set up a new tank with the corals, I already got the rock already ready to go. Alright. Alright, so those are bioballs. And like I said, around the 1980s, they discovered the wet-dry trickle filters, and they started adding bioballs. So that's another filtration, the wet-dry trickle filter. But they started adding the bioballs. It wasn't until the early 2000s, maybe late 90s, that's when they discovered about the live rock, all right? And ever since, everybody's been using live rock, but around 2007 to 2009, they started putting too much stress on the reef. So what they did, that's when they started forming that artificial rock or the cement rock. They started doing that cement rock, so they put less stress on the corals, okay, or the coral reefs. But that's what ended up happening. So now you get a whole bunch of cement rocks that are being sold in the hobby. They're not true rocks from the ocean. I got rocks from the ocean, but like I said, now it's cheaper to just get man-made live rock, okay? But I'm gonna include all that in part of filtration. Also heaters. I'm just gonna include the heaters in there. You want to make sure you heat up your tropical fish at 78 degrees for both fresh and salt water, and you should be good. But like I said, you want to mimic whatever environment they come from. If they're a little bit less, a little bit more, you want to mimic that environment. I got the cat. And then also there's chillers. So if your tank gets too hot or you want to get corals from a colder environment, you can get a thing called the chiller. It's like a little refrigerator, and basically it makes the water cool down. But you keep any animal alive or in our oceans, just depending on, just get heaters and chillers, and you should be good. All right. All right, feeding. Feeding is important for certain corals. Not all corals need to be fed. Like I said, usually your fish waste should be enough, and all the fish food you feed. You want to feed either live fish food or frozen food. Probably the best. But like I said, most of the time now we can get either pellet food or flakes. But feeding is very important. You want to make sure you feed the fish, and certain corals like the Bower bankies that I got over here, they prefer to be fed. So the Bower bankies, they prefer to be fed, all right? But yeah, feeding is really important. And then also like non-photosynthetic coral, the coral that don't use lighting, you want to feed them also, okay? Like gorgonians and shit like that. Deep water corals. You want to make sure you feed them. And then also there's a cold water species of coral. So like I said, if you add the chiller, you keep the cold water species of coral. But like I said, you want to feed everything, all right? All right, and then the last thing are your water changes. You want to make sure you change water frequently. Let's say, depending on what you have, you can change water between once or twice a month. Some people do weekly, but I really don't think you don't really need to change water that much. But let's say you want to stop doing water changes. Remember that chemistry thing that I told you about? Uh, so natural seawater, like I said, all the chemicals, they fall right here. But let's say you stop doing water changes, your corals are gonna start consuming chemicals. They're gonna start going down here. Damn. Alright, alright, so all the corals are gonna start reducing the elements of the water up to down here. And then after a certain point, certain elements are going to increase. So the nutrients of the water, or you're going to have this shit called nitrates. Let me just call it NO3. You can have nitrates and phosphates start increasing. All right. And then all the other chemicals, such as calcium, magnesium, potassium, all that bullshit, they're going to start decreasing down here. And this is going to start increasing. So what you want to do is form a solution, or start adding the chemicals back in the water. And then once you add the chemicals back in, they fall back in line into the safe zone right around this area. All right. And at the same time, these are always going to be increasing, the nitrates and the phosphates. So what people do is either get a nitrate reactor, a phosphate reactor, or they get plants and shit that naturally consume these elements. All right. And what that's going to do, that's going to reduce the phosphate and nitrate to a safer level, because you can only have a certain amount of nitrates and phosphates before you're going to start seeing shit go bad. But if you don't do water changes, you got to worry about your nitrates, and then all the other chemicals in the ocean, you got to start adding them in because your corals are consuming them, or some kind of other organism. All right, maybe even bacteria start consuming all that shit, or algae, such as like coralline algae, will start consuming your calcium in the water. But to simplify all this shit, just do a water change, all right? At least once a month or bi-weekly, and you should be good. But water changes are really important, all right, guys? But those are the 7 steps, guys. Like I said, it took me a long fucking time to figure this shit out, but the most important thing was the chemistry. If your chemistry's not good, then everything else doesn't really fucking matter. And like I said, it took me years to figure this out, guys. You could try and do it on your own. I mean, it might take you years, and you might lose a lot of money. 03. Alright, I'll get back to the comments right now. But oh yeah, there's also wave boxes. That's a good one, Rainer, for your water flow. There's wave boxes. I missed a lot of shit, but there's wave boxes. There's different shit for your water flow. But yeah, but like I said, if your chemistry's off, you're not gonna do any good. And like I said, it took me a long time to figure this shit out. But this secret formula, these steps are the steps that I take for every single tank. All right. The one I just added it, but you really don't need to think about, is the water changes and the tank. All right. Those are probably the least. I mean, water change is important, but these are really what the most important thing if you have an existing aquarium is this. Because I'm going to assume you already have a tank, and I'm going to assume that you already do your water changes, okay? So assuming that, these are the 5 key elements of any aquatic system, all right? The chemistry, whether you want to include the temperature or the heater down here, doesn't really matter, all right? Or the chiller. But like I said, all the mechanical shit, I just threw it in filtration. But the chemistry, like I said, is the most important thing. And like I said, it took me years. And like I said, to figure all this out, it might take you about 2 to 3 years. And to get your chemistry down, it might take you like another 3. All right. So like around 3 to 5 years, you can actually see that you actually start keeping shit alive. All right, guys. But like I said, you heard my story on how I actually developed the chemistry of the package or whatever of my salt. and like you could go and try to figure out how to do the chemistry or how to even make your own salt water, and it might take you years. It took me about a year of chemistry in the university, or 2 classes. Um, and like I said, I had to reread the book like 2 or 3 times. All right, the chemistry book. It took me a long time just to really get the chemistry right. And like I said, if you add the 3 years, 3 years in the hobby to figure shit out, plus another, let's say another year, that's 4 years that I fucking spent trying to figure all this shit out. Cause the lighting, I started with that metal halide you saw right there. The water flow, I just added some different power heads. Filtration, I bought the skimmer. Feeding, fucking, we all feed the fish. I'm assuming you feed your fish. Alright? But the chemistry, like I said, it took a long time to figure that shit out. And a lot of fucking calculations and all that bullshit. But like I said, I have an easier way, guys. And I mean, you heard my method and everything. You saw the salt brand and all that. But I mean, I could have just kept this all to myself. I could have just done this. I could have just had the salt and everything. I could have just been living life and fucking figuring this shit out and continue on with my life and have really nice tanks and all that bullshit. But I decided I want to give back to the community. I want to provide this salt to everybody. And like I said, I want to grow big enough to compete with all the other companies and stuff. And like I said, I did the hard work for you guys with this fucking brand of salt. I did the hard work for you. This salt, I call it interstellar oceans, because we're gonna take this fucking to Mars, fucking everywhere, alright? All the settlement everywhere around the fucking universe. We're gonna do this shit. And then if there's any aquatic creatures anywhere else in the world or in the universe, we're gonna bring them here to planet Earth also. Fuck it. You know what I mean? But like I said, it took me a long fucking time to figure all that shit out. Alright, guys? And like I said, you can try to figure it out yourself, or like I said, I have a better method for you. And I really want you guys to join this project, all right? The Interstellar Oceans project. I really want you guys to join, all right? Hold up, guys. Let me erase this shit, because you really don't need this shit anymore. Bam. So remember, I want you guys to join the Interstellar Oceans project. Bam. All right. So if you buy the salt, you're gonna join the Interstellar Oceans project, and all our water chemistry, mine, both tanks, everybody that uses my salt already, and even you, we're gonna have the same water chemistry as me. And like I said, the benefit, there's like I said, guys, I want to make this free. Like if I could fucking send free salt to everybody, I fucking would. But like I said, I have to buy the salt, buy all the chemicals. I gotta buy the scales. I gotta buy a whole bunch of shit, and I gotta find a way to distribute them. Distribute every package of salt. I mean, there's so much that goes. There's so much cost out of my pocket to even fucking keep this project going. And like I said, if I could give the salt for free, dude, I fucking would. All right, guys. But here you go, guys. Like if you join the project, you're gonna get these benefits. All right. One, you're gonna have a damn phone. All right. You're gonna have a hold on me. It's not important. All right. So if you join the project, we're gonna have a community. I'm really trying to grow hard. I'm doing my best I can, putting a lot of effort into growing a community. And like I said, the saltwater community is not that big, But like I said, the community in the Interstellar Oceans Project, it's small, but it's fucking solid. And with the community, you're gonna have a whole bunch of people that use the same water chemistry, and we're gonna be able to trade corals and all that together. All right, guys. And like I said, in the community, you can ask your questions, comments, concerns, complaints, and all that bullshit. We're gonna be part of a community, all right, guys. And just like any other community, it's basically a family, guys. We're trying to build a family here. I mean, I already got a few people here on the chat and everything that are part of the community. I'm part of 2 communities, and like I said, there's community for everything. Fucking, like I said, community is the most important thing probably when you're first starting off. And even now, sometimes I ask other community members about what kind of lights they use, what's new in the hobby, new technology and stuff, new corals, new everything. Like I said, community is really important. All right. Another benefit about joining the Interstellar Oceans Project is water chemistry. They just write chemistry. All right. We all share the same water chemistry. If my scale is off, all the ratio of the salts are still the same. All right, guys. Like I said, the water chemistry is the most important thing in the hobby. If your chemistry is off, like I said, nothing's gonna work. All right, guys. Nothing's really gonna work at all. You definitely want the best water chemistry as you possibly can, and like I said, you can have the best lighting, filtration, all that stuff, the most up-to-date stuff, the new technology, but chemistry of the ocean hasn't changed in millions of years. And what's cool about the water chemistry that I have is, you remember that the little range of where you keep your salt water? Remember that shit? The range where you can keep your natural salt water. All the chemicals are always going to be in line the same all the time. Damn, I dropped something. Okay. Every bag of salt that you use, as long as you mix with the right amount of fucking water, all the chemicals are always going to be the same, all right? And even if it's, let's say it's slightly off from salt water because of my scale, all these chemicals are always going to be the same. Man, you see that? They're always going to be the same. There's no fucking deviation or none of that shit. That's why the Interstellar Oceans Project is the most fucking scientific of all the fucking projects in the aquarium hobby. All right, guys. Everything's fucking weighed out. You don't have to worry about a lot of shit. And like I said, I made things so fucking easy. And like I said, we're gonna do a water change together and everything on maybe even both of these tanks. But the one I really do need to change water is probably this one. But like I said, the water chemistry, all the elements, they're always going to be the same. The same ratios all the time. And let's say you mix it with a little bit, let's say you mix it slightly off. Let's say for whatever reason, you're slightly off in the chemistry. Remember, this is a wave of where you want to be. This is the range you want to be. Even if it's slightly off, let's say it's a little bit higher, all the elements a little bit higher. All the elements are still going to be fucking the same. See that? This means you mix too much water. This means you mixed not enough water. But you see that? The ratio of all the chemicals are still going to be the same. And let's say you do a water, this is my tank right now. So let's say this is the tank. And then this is the new water that we're going to do a water change. That's the new water, we're going to do the water change. It's still within range. And like I said, you're not going to see a fucking negative effect on your coral. But like I said, if you mix the fucking water with the this is a 5 gallon mixture, and if you use 5 gallons of water, you're always gonna be right in range, all right. But like I said, I calculated all the elements to match natural seawater. And just because your piece of shit fucking testing device tells you it's off or whatever, maybe it's your fucking testing kit that fucking sucks. But all the elements have been calculated to be right in the range of salt water. And like I said, just mix it with the right amount of water. If you want a 1 gallon or a 50-gallon mixture, you gotta mix it all at once. No partial mixing or any of that shit. Right now we're gonna mix 5 gallons of water and we're gonna mix it together. And like I said, it's fucking simple, all right? Hold up real quick. All right, guys. So those are one of the benefits, all right? So let me give you more benefits of joining the Interstellar Oceans Project, and that's the corals. All right, guys, all the corals I got that you see me have, once they multiply and all that shit, I give my corals out for free. People like to sell corals and make money, and that's great, and I highly encourage it. But me, I need to find corals. I need to find homes for all these fucking corals once they start multiplying. So if you're part of the project, I'm gonna give these corals out for free, as long as they reproduce and everything, or multiply. I give out my corals for free. Just pay for the fucking shipping, or if you live locally, come pick that shit up. But all the corals, like I said, if you're part of the community, if you're part of the Interstellar Oceans Project, and you use the salt, I'll give the corals out for free. I'm not gonna give them to you if you use a different brand of salt, because to me you're just gonna kill shit. And like I said, I want to give the best home for all the corals, and make sure they're going in a tank that actually could maintain them alive. And like I said, I give free corals if I fucking breed fish. Fucking, I'll give you fucking fish for free. All right. Like I said, just pay for the shipping or and everything. And like I said, I'm gonna give all these corals out for free. Like I said, doesn't matter if it's the Ballard Bankies or a Roger Rampage or whatever the fuck. As long as I frag the corals, because I know they might start stinging each other soon or something like that. If you're using the salt, I'll give out free corals. And like I said, and just by definition, damn. I only have a limited amount of corals. I can only help a certain amount of people. I can't fucking help everybody. But like I said, I'm still small and I'm still trying to grow, and I can't help everybody. But for sure, if you're part of the project and you're part of one of my day oneers, I could help you out a lot more. Like I said, I can't mix all this shit for free. I can't make all the salts and everything. Eventually, I'm going to have to expand and then get other people to start doing it for me. And like I said, until that point, right now, as me as an individual, I can only help a certain amount of people. Only a certain amount of people are going to be able to have this salt right now. Like I said, I can only make these by myself at a certain quantity, all right, guys? And like I said, I can only help a certain amount of people. And by definition, I probably can't give all these corals out to everybody, but if in the community, we're all part of the same community, if you grow corals and everything, we could trade them with each other, or even just give them out to other people that are part of the Interstellar Oceans Project. And like I said, there's only a certain amount of people I could help, and there's only a certain amount of people you could help until we actually grow this project big, guys. But that's something that's really important. Also, because I can only help a limited amount of people, another thing that's a benefit of being part of the project is consultation. All right, guys. If you're fucking struggling with your piece of shit fish tank and all your shit's fucking dying, if you need help, I give free consultation. If you use my solve, but even if you don't use the shit and you're thinking about it, fucking contact me and I can try to help you out. But like I said, I get messages. I even get phone calls from motherfuckers I don't even know or haven't even talked to like in over 10 years, and they're still asking me shit about fish. Like I said, there's only a certain amount of people that can help, but for sure, I'm gonna give you guys consultation. If you're just setting up a new tank or anything like that and you need help, you could always contact me, or even better, contact somebody else that's in the hobby. So if you're like in the chat line right now or on the live chat, you could talk amongst each other and ask each other questions. All right. Sometimes we probably have the same answer or different answers, but whatever it takes, we're gonna figure out to get your shit alive. All right, guys. But definitely, consultation's a really big thing. And like I said, guys, I have to pay a lot for shipping. I'm working on the shipping. Right now I have to fill out even a FedEx thing because I got a discount on the FedEx shipping, but right now I could even get even more discounts. I just gotta sign up the business with FedEx. I got the link and everything. So I'm working with sales representatives at FedEx, and with the shipping, I'm hoping to probably even start shipping corals cheaper to people. But like I said, shipping for me is not the same as everybody else. Fucking salt weighs like a motherfucker, alright, guys? You can't compare the weight of salt compared it to like an online fucking product or like a link. Links don't cost shit to ship, you know what I mean? But shipping smaller light goods and stuff, it's a lot cheaper. But me, I gotta waste a lot of fucking money on the shipping. But like I said, I'm trying to get a better deal to ship corals and all that shit to you. But for sure, I could ship salt to you for a pretty cheap price. All right. But like I said, guys. These are just few of the benefits of having the salt water that I use or being part of the project. And like guys, the cost of the water right now, even on the web. Also, I got a website, but it's down right now. All I gotta do is just pay the host gator motherfuckers, and I just gotta pay them $200. And the website's gonna be up, and then all the videos, all the lives and everything, they're gonna be on the website. So that's another way you could contact me. But I'm also in every social media. How the fuck you spell social? Yeah. I don't even know, but fuck it. All social media, I'm in every single platform. Doesn't matter what the fuck it is, but on most social media, all the social media I got is HCBCHEMISTRY. Doesn't matter if it's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, link fuck, email fuck, text fuck, what other shit? Postal fuck, all that shit. It's HCBCHEMISTRY, alright, guys? Phone fuck, that sounds funny. Or Facebook. I'm in all that shit as HCBCHEMISTRY. You can always contact me there, and like I said, I'll give you free consultation if you need help, or if you're planning on being in the hobby, or even leaving the hobby, and you need to find a place to house all your corals. So if you give me your fish tank and all the corals, I'm gonna put them in different systems or even in my system, and then once you're ready again, let's say 5 years later, you want to get back into the hobby, I'm gonna have a fragment of all your corals, and we're gonna get you back up to where you were with all your corals and stuff. So, like I said, that's part of being part of the community. I'm gonna run a very special community because no other salt brand does this shit. All right, I'm the only motherfucker that actually cares about the hobby that's gonna do all this shit for free, practically. Like all these bonuses, it's pretty much fucking for free that I'm doing. And like I said, and I know what you guys are thinking about right now. What's that question that you guys are not asking, right? And let me answer the question for you. for only how much, right? For only $3.25. This bag of salt, this 5-gallon mixture, is only $3.25. 1-gallon mixtures are 175, but that's only for 1-gallon mixtures. But no matter if it's 5 gallons or 50 gallons, the price is well, for this, it goes by increments, right? A 5-gallon mixture is $3.25. A 10-gallon is $7.50, and it just keeps increasing. Every 5 gallons, it will increase to that much, right? But for only $3.25, you get all these benefits, guys, for just this fucking bag of salt. And literally, I spent fucking $20 on shit that was supposed to be oregano. I mean, shit that looks like oregano, but at the very end, it wasn't even fucking what I bought. It was fucking oregano. I spent $20 on stupid shit all my life, right? But for $3.25 fucking cents, you get this bag of salt. I'm gonna ship it to your ass, and that's still the price. Why? Because I have a business deal with FedEx. FedEx is gonna take fucking most of the money. I'm gonna spend more money on fucking FedEx, but the little bit I do add, it's gonna go back into the project, back into forming a bigger community, better water chemistry, corals, and like I said, I can only help a limited amount of people, and the consultation, and so right now, all the money that I make right now is probably gonna go to the website to get it back up and shit. I was supposed to pay, but I didn't fucking pay because I haven't figured out the online hack and none of that bullshit. But in person, fuck, I could sell this shit in person all day. But all I do is just take my little tank, fucking do a presentation, and bam. You see what I mean? But online, man, I'm still trying to figure out that hack. But whatever. But like I said, for only $3.25, fucking, you'll get this bag of salt. Multiply it by 2 if you want to get a second bag or a 10-gallon mixture. But like I said, you gotta mix all this all at once. And like right now, we're gonna do a water change. I got my bucket right here and fresh water to go. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna mix this shit together right now. All right. And like I said, this bag is only $3.25. So we're gonna fix the camera right now, and then we're gonna go down and I'm gonna show you how to use the product. All right, see that shit? So first off, open the bag, obviously. Bam. All right. And like I said, pretty soon you could be able to buy this on the website. But for now, you could just either Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, all that shit. Venmo, I'm pretty sure I said that shit. Send me the money there or whatever the fuck, and then I'll get you the package to you as quick as possible. It's just gonna take FedEx to fucking ship it to you, and usually it takes about 2 days or whatever. But I could ship anyone to Alaska and Hawaii, all right? All right, so now we're going to take the 5 gallons of water. Yeah, fuck it. 5 gallons of water. I'm only going to add like about 2 to 3 gallons or 2.5 gallons in there right now. But that's just because I could mix it with more balls when it's half filled. Because once it's all the way filled up, you can't really stir as fast. I just noticed I have my fucking glasses on when I took the fucking thumbnail photo. So whenever you're dealing with chemicals, make sure you wear your glasses. Your safety goggles, whatever the fuck. Rainer, what about shipping salt to me? Oh, Rainer, man, I'm still trying to work on shipping salt internationally, bro. I know you're in Europe and shit, but I'm working on that shit, bro. My bad. Fucking, I gotta talk to FedEx. I'll get back at you at that. On that whack ass scale. No, Atkins. I'm gonna get a new scale, bro. No worries, man. All right, so let me catch up on the comments while I'm mixing this shit. Hey Atkins, you know, like weed, man. I'll eyeball it. All right. My tank running with the nice marine LED light. Today I finished my 185-gallon tank soft coral fish and the Kessel 380. Nice, Rainer. My mini monster tank runs 4T5 Zoas. Oh shit. Like I said, while we're mixing, I'm gonna be reading comments. All right. Where was I at? Don't forget to have fun. Yeah, we got some Russian hackers, man. The mini monster runs are that Kessels are the win. I love the caustic lines. I don't know how to pronounce that shit. I recommend hanging the Kessel as high as possible and using the lens. Yeah. The lens focus is the Kessel light. I'm thinking of when my tank turns 1 year old, I'm going to upgrade my light to the API Prime. Yeah, I tried API before. They're pretty cool. But like I said, the only thing with API, you gotta it's not beginner friendly. You gotta kind of know what level to adjust all the colors. But the Kessel is just beginner friendly. Rainer or a wave box. Yeah, for water flow, a wave box is pretty good. I like my Nero 3. I'm able to control everything on it. I recently added random flow on the morning and as lights turn off. Oh, good shit, Atkins. DC pumps need to be more popular, like in canister filters or hang on the back filters. I feel that's something we've been missing in our hobby. Yeah, that's true, man. Like DC, they've been around for like about 10 years. Kitty, yeah. Vodka also helps if you need more bacteria to break down the waste. It can, but one thing you gotta think about vodka and shit, they're natural disinfectants. If you add too much of that shit, you're gonna start causing cycles in your aquarium. I'm excited to finally frag up some corals for the first time. It's gonna be easy, common stuff like Kenya tree, Anthelia, and I've never fragged before, so it's exciting to me. Oh, good shit, Atkins. I know Kenya trees frag themselves, but then you gotta glue them onto the frag plug and shit. My frag kit comes next week on the 10th though, so I gotta wait. Oh yeah, Atkins, do a video on that shit. Rainer, the first time is always the best time with any new species. Yeah. If I wanted to give Cell any frags, it's good to let them heal up for a few weeks first. Yeah, Atkins, let them heal up. Don't give people freshly cut frags. I never buy frags off any motherfucker that just barely cut it off the colony and then wants to sell that shit to me. I've been there, done that, and that shit just always dies. They need to get used to the new water and then heal at the same time, and it doesn't really work out. If possible, cut it not too small. Yeah, Rainer, that's true, man. Don't cut that shit small, Atkins. Do you use iodine dip for fragging every time and certain coral, not like the iodine drops? Oh yeah, the iodine drops and the iodine dip, that's pretty much the same shit, Atkins. You definitely want to dip it in that because it's an antiseptic. And then if you use the pesticides like all the other what's called coral dips like Revive or something, that doesn't help them heal. What that does is it's meant for like a pest, like large pest or whatever. But the iodine, it just helps disinfect the coral. It's kind of like antiseptic for the coral. So definitely use iodine. Thanks, Rainer. I was wondering, since I'll be cutting softies, should I put them? Oh, wait, should I put them in a little basket with the rubble or rubber band to a plug? I've seen multiple times. Yeah, Atkins, there's different ways to do it. Depending on what it is, do that. The rubble is probably the easiest way. Have some rubble inside the aquarium. But there's different ways to do it. I've heard of toothpicks and rubber bands and all that shit, but you're gonna have to kind of figure that out, what works best for you. I have not worked with iodine or disinfectant so far. I've cleaned and disinfected the tools for each coral and replaced the blade. Yeah, Rainer, that's true. But Atkins, you always want to disinfect or wash the blade. If you use scissors, wash the blades every time, because your corals, like let's say if I frag the chalices and I frag something else, the chalice has pretty strong toxins and you might kill the other coral. You might kill both the frag and the mother colony of the coral, of the next coral you're trying to cut. Depends on the species. Zoas and GSP can grow over rubble and simply remove the other softies. The smolder mostly. I use rubber and the disc anemones, a dead coral with a narrow spades. Yep. Yeah, you just want to glue them anywhere. You can use rock rubble, frag plugs, all that shit. It doesn't really matter. Is it best to work since various coral toxins have an unfavorable effect on corals? Yeah. You gotta work clean. Also, wear eye protection and try to cover your nose or your mouth and all that shit. Because normally, what I do, Atkins, is I frag underwater so you don't get none of that shit in your eyes or any of your organs and shit, like your nose or mouth. You don't want to be breathing that shit in. Insane, hey, what's up, G? Thank you for joining, man. Oh shit, I lost where I was. My bad, guys. That makes more sense. Laugh it out. Thank Rainer. Thank you, Rainer. Yo, yeah, insane. Thank you for joining, bro. But it's a salt measure with the whack ass scale. It's gonna be hammer time pretty soon. How about shipping salt to me? Oh yeah, Rainer, I'm still working on that, bro. I won't have problems with the cops, right? They might think the salt. They might think it's crystal meth. Just messing with you. All right, we're good. Yeah, insane. That's why I put the salt in a black bag. I used to sell it in the clear bag, but I didn't want to have that fucking problem either. All right, so I'm gonna add the rest of the 5 gallons in there. Bam, see that? I've been mixing the whole time. So once that settles, we're gonna throw this water back in here because it's easier to pour from here rather than in the bucket. And then we're gonna do a small water change because, like I said, this water is pretty cold. Another thing you want to do is measure the temperature. All right, so one thing you want to do is measure the temperature. See that shit? We're gonna leave that, and I know it's pretty cold. It feels fucking cold as fuck. Calypso, don't get high in your own supply. Thank you for joining, bro. Sea salt in a clear, small zipper bag. Fuck, they definitely gonna think it's fucking weed. I mean, drugs, meth, and shit, crystal, fucking. I don't know any of that shit, but it's gonna be all that shit. You're gonna be charged for all that shit and more. All right, just because I'm in a hurry and all that shit, and just for the sake of the video, we're just gonna say that shit all mixed up. You know what I mean? Damn, but look how cold that shit is. We're at what? 56 degrees Celsius. I mean, Fahrenheit, and like 13 to 14 Celsius. Oh, there you go. See that shit? It's fucking cold as fuck. That way you can see the units. So that's why I only change a little bit of water. I only change like 2 gallons of water or less because the water temperature is fucking cold as fuck. See that? All right, sorry, I was fixing the top on the thing. But we're just gonna say that's cleared up. I mean, mixed up, and then I'm gonna put this on the chair so I can siphon that shit back into the bucket. And let's say the alkalinity is low, because I know Calypso, my scale was all fucked up. You could just throw a little bit of baking soda in that bitch. Watch. If your alkalinity was a little bit low, just fucking throw a little bit of baking soda in that motherfucker. I'm just eyeballing it, but you get the point. All right, so I'm gonna pick this up. Bam. Could you see that? Bam. All right. Good as shit. I'm all fucking breaking everything and shit with that fucking whiteboard. I gotta get a whiteboard stand or some shit. All right. So we're gonna get this salt water. Like I said, not everything fully dissolved, but fuck it. So we're gonna get everything inside here. I mean inside there, and we're just gonna start the siphon. Bam. And like I said, guys, we're trying to build a community together, and then you get all those benefits, guys. Fucking, we're gonna try to build a community together. Fucking chemistry and everything. We're gonna figure out all that shit together. And like I said, next time I get a scale, I'll measure the salt. What's it called, with the new scale that I'm gonna get. Like I said, I'm gonna get a triple beam balance from Amazon, and then we'll make some salt together from scratch, kind of like the chemistry way. Like if you're in the fucking chemistry lab, how we have to make all of our solutions, we have to make them from we have to make them from scratch. But like I said, guys, this is the easiest method to fucking do this shit. And it took me a long time to fucking figure this shit out. It took me about a year of fucking university level chemistry and shit. Well, you guys saw my book last time. I did all the equations in the fucking book like twice. I've read that chemistry book like 3 times and shit. And the first time I read it, I still wasn't enough. Still wasn't grasping all the concepts and shit to actually make the salt water and shit. So you might need to reread that fucking book a few times. And like I said, or since I already did all the hard work for you, fucking, you could have that fucking chemistry, the same chemistry, like in your power, man. And like I said, this little bag's only $3.25, and I'm pretty sure you guys spent more fucking money on drugs, fucking food, all that shit. A fucking number one in McDonald's is like $10 now in California. I don't know what prices over there, but fuck, dude, a number one that much, dude. With that, you could have gone like 3 bags of salt and shit. Like 15 gallons of salt water right there, easy. But like I said, everything's going up. Really, pretty soon I might have to fucking increase the price of the fucking salt. You know what I mean? To match the inflation and all that shit. And then with that laws being passed, whatever the fuck it's called, we're not gonna really be able to get that many corals and stuff. We're gonna have to rely on our small community. And like I said, the more tanks I have to work with, the more people that use the same salt as me, fucking, we're gonna be able to trade corals a lot easier without having them to acclimate to new environments and shit. But we're gonna let that shit mix, and then drain, and then we're gonna look at this tank right now. So I moved the lid right now, and one thing I always like to do is siphon the sand and shit, but it's gonna be a lot harder because I got a lot of corals in the sand bed. But we're gonna move them around. But let me lower it down if you guys like. But well, just for now, I'm gonna bring it to eye level. Fuck it, good enough. So you see that? Everything's fucking doing solid. Look at that. This guy, man, the algae on that right side, I'm gonna clean it up right now. It's starting to bug me. But everything else is doing good. Also, there's algae on the rampage, so I gotta kind of scrub that off a little bit. The rostozoas, look at that shit. They're fucking coming out. I keep the what's it called? The turbo snails keep fucking flipping it over in the sand. This deep water acro, surprisingly, is still alive. I haven't really been fucking with it too much though. The chalice, what the fuck you call this? The Space Invader chalice is looking solid. Remember, it's not a pectinia, it's a chalice. Like that one. I want them to grow flat. Hold up. There you go. And then what do you call these shits again? The Ballerbankies, they look solid. And like again, the turbo snails keep fucking with them too much. What do you call this again? The frog spawn, I moved it. Remember, it was over here. That way you can see that little bald spot. I moved it over here because the anemone, look at that, dude. It's fucking moving a little bit, and I don't want it to kill it. This frog spawn, fuck, dude, that shit's growing big as fuck. Since I'm not moving it and fucking with it, look at that, it's starting to divide. It's starting to get 3 soon. But oh yeah, and then this weekend or next one, this is what his name is Mr. Herm or something like that in YouTube. He said he might give me a red planet, and I'm gonna put it right here. And then I'm pretty much set with corals. I don't think I'm gonna add any more corals because, like I said, this was supposed to be just a sea anemone tank or whatever. And look at that. Finally, the clowns are kind of right there and shit. I mean, they really love their hair algae or whatever, but the sea anemone, they're getting used to it. See, the female is getting used to the sea anemone. The black one is just right there with the hair algae and shit, but I think in time they'll start going in a lot more. I know at nighttime the black one sleeps on the anemone, but on the outside of the disc. It's fucking funny. But yeah, dude, like I said, all these corals are doing good. And like I said, the little rostozoas, you can see these little mini ones starting to grow right there. You see that? And like I said, these ones are healing compared to my other zoas. My other rostas, these ones are bigger, fucking badder and shit. Look at that. The skirts are big as fuck. But every time I touch the fucking tank. But every time I touch the tank, they close up. But you see it, the hermit crabs I added here, they're starting to eat all that shit up. Look at that. There's a hermit crab right there. Hermit crabs are fucking cool at getting the hair algae out. Aquatic Amigos, what's up, G? Thank you for joining, bro. But you see that? Damn, look at this Monty, dude. It's fucking starting to look like lava and shit growing down. The polyps are out. Damn, but look at these guys though. Look how fucking fat they are. Bam. Look at that. Just for reference, I mean that's my hand right there. That's how big it is right now. This one's only one head, but damn, it's fucking big as fuck also. See that? Look at that, guys. Fucking. Let me give you a top-down view if you guys like. Wolverine's right here defending against any motherfucker that wants to steal this shit. Nah, just fucking with you. But you see that? I want the Monty to grow on the rocks. Okay, let me give you the rundown. So I put these polyps on this rock so they could grow that way. Once it starts hitting this rock, I'm gonna take them out and then frag it up and then put it on a new rock. This Monty, I want him to start encrusting on this rock. I don't care if it spills over here. But these Rosses, those are the only ones I'm worried about. The frog spawn's down there taking that whole spot, this whole bottom spot. This one's over here also, the frog spawn, this frog spawn. See that? And like I said, I used to have my Raja Rampage over here, but I took it out, put it in the other tank, as you see. But yeah, man, I mean, this tank's doing pretty good. And it's only 2 gallons, so. Damn, look at all those rostas. I only started with 2 polyps, and now I got all those. And half the colony died at one time. And they finally regrew, but look at that. It looks solid, look at that. Beautiful shit. Bam. All right. But that's the little mini tank. And then this over here, I think it's done. Yep, it's done. And then let me reset. And then we're going to do a water change. Oh, shit. All right, good enough. I'm going to put the bucket over here so we could siphon that shit out together. Bam. All right, looks good, right? That's a good angle. Good enough. Let me put the water over here. It's fucking heavy as fuck. That's why I don't like. That's why you see me put the water in smaller jugs, because it's easier to put. It's easier to move the 1 gallon jugs to pour water in than the whole 5 gallons or whatever. But we're done with this. Let me catch up on comments before I start changing water out. Insane, Hector. Saw you talking about my bunch mushroom, Hector. I have to update that picture. Oh, the picture. Oh, Insane. I think I did see one. No, I can't remember if I saw one of your bounces. I've seen a lot of bounces. I can't remember which one. Stopping by to show my support, homie. All right. Yeah, Aquatic Amigos. And like I said, if you haven't seen my interview from Sunday or like 2 days ago, go check that shit out at the Incredible Javier channel. We didn't really talk too much about aquatics or anything, but I think it was a pretty cool interview. I've been getting a lot of good feedback, so go check that shit out. Oh, shit. All right, so now I'm going to turn off the water pump. I got to get more smart plug so I could just tell the Alexa to turn it off. But I got the lighting on the Alexa, especially on the small tank. But anyways, we're going to do a water change. And it's 78 degrees on, watch, we're going to see the temperature drop. So you see that we're like at 78 degrees, and then you're gonna see why I don't change too much water on this tank. There's gonna be somewhat of a huge temperature drop, and normally you don't want to be doing that shit, but if you do, you just gotta know what the fuck you're doing, and I just let you know I don't recommend it. But anyways, we're gonna do this shit. All right, fuck. Good enough. It's gonna be a small water change. So now we're gonna see the temperature difference. All right, I'm gonna start adding this shit in there. All right, I'm gonna plug it in, and then if I need to add more water, I am. All right. Bam. I think we're good on water, but in order to really know for sure, we gotta look at the sump level. But I can already tell you it's gonna be good enough. See that? And then right now we're gonna observe the coral, see if there's any negative reaction, and then I'm gonna show you the temperature drop. Why I only change a little bit of water at a time. And like I said, since the new salt water and the old seawater has the same water chemistry, I don't really have to worry about shit. But if you recall earlier, I talked about the little minor elements or whatever. We're gonna add a little bit of iodine and the essential elements, just so you can see a complete fucking view of everything I do. All right, so just gotta add a little bit. Just add a few drops. You don't really add a lot. Iodine, same thing. Only the iodine it doesn't have a. I don't know. I'm not sure what you call this shit, but it's not this type of thing. It's like an open bottle, so I always pour it in here first. I'm just gonna add a small amount, just a little bit extra, just because I want certain corals to start healing a little bit better. All right, there you go. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's all you fucking do. I mean, do that shit once or twice a month, and you should be solid. All right, but I know there's a little bit of hair algae. And I'm gonna use this, I think it's called a peroxal brush or interperoxal brush, some shit like that. This is what dentists use. I think if you don't floss your shit, I was gonna say if you don't floss your butthole. All right, but if you don't floss and everything, damn, the fucking smell went on there. I'm gonna scrape some of the algae off of this little brush. All right. All right, good enough. And now I gotta remove some of the. I'm removing sand from the corals, all right? And any possible algae that's stuck on them, all right? And we're fucking done. We're almost done. We gotta clean the outside of the glass. You know, in case you do services, cleaning the outside of the fucking glass is very important. Top, cabinet, everything. You gotta make sure you clean everything. All right, good enough. We're done. All right, do that shit once or twice a month, and damn, you should be good. All right, let's catch up to comments. Talking to Bounce Mushroom, great interview. Oh shit, hold on. Stopping by to show support. Yeah, Aquatic Amigos, muchas gracias. Muchas thank yous, man. Yeah, Oscar, Aquaballs shows what Aquaballs. Oh, yeah, I forgot this other YouTuber. Show me how. Oh, send me some pictures of some bounce that cost 3K. Damn, 3,000 for a fucking mushroom. Fuck that. It's like, fuck, whatever you're fucking smoking, pass some this way so we could be the same. I want to charge that much for any coral. I don't give a fuck. But anyways, Aquatic Amigos, great interview. I felt it should went longer because there was so much to talk about. Oh, Aquatic Amigos, thank you, man. I think he might have. I think Incredible Javier wanted to do a part 2, but I wasn't too sure. But yeah, man, it was that's why I try to squeeze in as much information, but definitely the interview could have gone a lot longer, bro. But I think Incredible Javier might want to talk about other things because he's into science and stuff. Even though he doesn't do the equations and stuff, he's into science. Geek Boy can't find the smart power strips I usually use anymore. Oh yeah, I remember those. The smart power strips for sure. I know what you're talking about. Geek Boy, Aqua Huevos, Geek Boy. I'm lurking and working. Thank you, Atkins, bro. Thank you for joining, man. Hey, Atkins, same. Aquatic Amigos, why do you think there's people in the highway that say don't mess with the sand? No vacuuming, no stirring the sand. Honestly, Aquatic Amigos, fuck them. Don't even fucking listen to those pendejos. But I'll tell you why, though. They believe because there's a lot of beneficial bacteria and organisms in the sand that you shouldn't mess with it. Hold on, let me lower my tripod to show you a lot better. My bad, guys. This is gonna be a little roller coaster, so talk amongst yourselves right now. Let me do the last tripod leg and we're good. I might have gone too low. Let me get the other one out. All right, there you go. Finally, we're at somewhat eye level. Bam. All right, there you go. All right. Oh yeah, remember the temperature difference. I mean, it raised up a little bit, but you see how much it dropped? It was at 72. Now it's like at 74. I just forgot to record, but fuck it. You saw it dropped the temperature though. That's why I only changed a little bit of water at a time, or when I go live with you guys, you don't see me change a lot. But never change more than 50% of the water unless the chemistry is the same, and even then, I don't recommend it. You start killing shit. But Aquatic Amigos, back to your question. Yeah, they say because there's a lot of different organisms in the sand or whatever that you shouldn't be fucking with it or cleaning it. But honestly, I don't agree with that shit because you're just collecting so much fucking waste in the bottom that eventually, even though there's probably is good bacteria and fucking bacteria that might turn that shit, the nitrates, into nitrogen gas and all that bullshit. But from my experience and every tank I've ever seen, that the sand bed is the biggest fucking problem to their tank. People that don't fucking siphon out the sand or fucking do something with the sand, at least stir that fucker around, I find their tanks struggle the most, or eventually, maybe like in 3 to 5 years, that tank crashes, and then they fucking start wondering why all their shit's fucking dying. But me, I'm a believer in cleaning that shit. Like, I prefer to have a laboratory clean tank, like a bare bottom and shit. I only added the sand just to prevent algae from growing in the bottom of the glass, so I don't have to scrape it with the algae scraper. But if you just add a very thin layer, you won't get the algae growing in the bottom of the glass. But another thing, a deep sand bed, I've only seen true live deep sand beds like twice in my life, dude, that I could remember. All the other tanks I ever seen, a deep sand bed, fuck, dude, they look nasty as fuck. If you gravel vac, you get like 40 gallons of nasty ass water, and that's only like a quarter or half of the tank that you did. And then you had to wait another 2 weeks before you could do the other half and shit. But nah, man, I don't recommend fucking not cleaning your sand bed, or at least have like an engineering goby or something that's gonna be fucking with the sand and getting that shit fucking everywhere. But I believe in cleaning that shit out because honestly, the ratio of good bacteria and bad bacteria, I think the bad bacteria fucking starts winning because deep sand beds are the only fucking sand beds that struggle with the what's called hydrogen gas or nitric gas or whatever the fucking gas that forms. That shit will just kill your fish tank if you release it in the aquarium or in the water column and shit. But all that shit is nasty. I really don't listen to YouTubers that fucking say don't gravel vac that shit. I see their sand beds and it looks like shit. Give me any fucking aquarium that has a nasty ass sand bed, dude. I'll fucking revolutionize that whole fucking tank. I don't give a fuck what kind of corals they got in there. I'll fucking make the corals pop out even better. But I definitely am not one of those people that say don't fuck with the sand. You saw me mess with the sand a little bit, but you can see I still got algae and shit growing. But I definitely don't let all the waste accumulate in the bottom of the sand. So I don't know, man. It's one of those debates that. All right, there you go. It's one of those debates you're never really gonna fucking win. So it's like, fuck it, do whatever the fuck you want with your tank. Fucking, as a matter of fact, don't even do water changes. I don't give a fuck. But yeah, I don't get it, bro. For me, I mix that shit up. I clean that shit out, for sure though. Why do you think about keeping orange spot filefish a group? I don't know, Rainer. What we did with filefish, we threw all those motherfuckers in the same tank when we were selling them. Like there could have been like 30 filefish in a 20-gallon. Or no, more like there were 30 gallons. My bad. 30s were the ones on top, and 60s the ones in the bottom. But yeah, I've thrown a whole bunch of filefish together, but you gotta throw them at once, I think. But that's what we did with all the fish. Well, when you're in an aquarium or whatever, or reef aquariums without sand. Oh, okay, now I get you what you're saying. But yeah, man. I think you can have a lot of foul fish together in a group, but I don't know, man. I think just like any fish, just feed them. But we've done that, so I haven't seen them fight with each other. They're kind of peaceful fish, but yeah. I mean, once in a while you might get an aggressive motherfucker though. I don't touch my substrate. Tanks are stable as hell, not just salt water though. Yeah, I can see. Like I said, some people don't mix the substrate, but I'm definitely one that what does water changes to that shit. But Atkins, I seen your substrate though. You got a thin ass layer though. I seen people with like thick ass layers like that big, and those are the ones that cause a lot of problems because they don't do none of that. They don't. I don't know. They do whatever the fuck they want. But Atkins, your substrate, your sand level is probably like the same as mine. It's small as fuck. If your substrate is about an inch or so, you don't really get a lot of problems. But like I said, me personally, I still siphon that shit out. And you see in my tank, it's pretty clear. If you siphon your sand bed and your tank starts turning all cloudy and shit, it's because you gotta work on how to siphon your shit out. I have quite a lot of sands. As you said, my gobies love it. I have quite a lot of sand. As you said, my gobies love it. Yeah, Rainer. And it all goes back to what animals are you keeping? Like if you're keeping like garden eels, shit that actually needs a thick sand bed because they go all the way down and shit, and they only stick their heads out. You definitely need a what do you call it? A deep sand bed. You got to provide a proper environment for your animals. Also like certain snails, like Nasarius snails, they like to dig in the sand. Wrasses, there are a lot of wrasses that need a thick sand bed a little bit too, because when they get scared, they dart right into the sand. And like I said, engineering gobies are my favorite, dude. Those motherfuckers move sand like crazy, and they make those underwater sand caves, or I don't know what the fuck they do, but when I had engineering gobies, man, those shits were the best, and they look like eels, only they're friendly as fuck. So I really love engineering gobies. Yeah, it's not a deep substrate. It's about a couple inches. Yeah, I can. Yeah, that's the way to go, bro. Definitely go like that. Just a small thin layer, just to make the tank look cool. My string goby pair play in the sand a lot and stays clean. Yeah, see you got critters that mess with the sand. I mean, these clowns fuck with the sand. Look at that. They always fucking. I don't know, man. I don't know if they want to lay eggs or what the fuck, but you see the bottom of the glass? They clean the area pretty good. But at least they're close to the sea anemone. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's the only thing I'm pretty happy about. They keep all that shit clean. Some dragonets also bury themselves to sleep. Oh yeah, yeah, Rainer. That's definitely true. And like I said, there's a lot of animals that need sand. If you have a sand sifting starfish or something, you definitely want to give it sand. They like to hide in the sand. It's pretty fucked up seeing them in just bare bottom tanks, but I seen that shit too. But yeah, guys, I mean, look at that. Even my SPS coral, even with the well, just because I was scrubbing the algae on it, but the polyps are out. Damn, see, that's why it's so hard to record with this phone and this Kessel light with that green slimer or whatever. But you see, all the corals are out. It's nothing really bad. I gotta flip this guy facing us so we could record him. I might do that right now, just so we could see him. I want an engineering goby. Oh yeah, Atkins, those shits are solid, bro. They grow pretty big as fuck though. The biggest one I seen is probably like 14 inches. The mines, the ones I had in a 65, they only grew up to like 7 inches long, like 6 to 8 inches long. Um, but they could get pretty fat, and they look like real eels if you have a big enough tank. In your little tank, they probably stay like 4 inches, maybe smaller, but definitely think about it putting in a little 10-gallon though. And I started with babies. Atkins, if you get engineering gobies, get some babies. You'll see the stripings change. They go from like horizontal stripings to like leopard fucking stripes and shit, or pattern and shit. It looks pretty cool. But let me fix my what do you call that shit? I always talk about it and I always forget. The Barabankies. There you go. Oh man, the snail was cleaning it. My bad. Sorry, Mr. Snail. I didn't see you there. Bam, now you see him. See that? The Bower Bankies. Man, that Australia snail was cleaning the fucking Bower Bank and I just had to fuck shit up. Let me close my salt also, my salt water. But you see that, guys? Fucking everything looks happy and shit. I squirted with the turkey baster. I got a lot of the algae off of this guy. But you see that? It's starting to heal real nice. It's starting to get its real dark green coloration on this side, not just that side. But you see that? Once I see it fully heal and I start seeing it grow, I might frag the edges. Probably go like a huge around the edges. Start getting some mouths out. This guy looks solid. I squirted, like I said, I went with the turkey baster to remove all the sand. The rostas are starting to come out. Bower Bankies look solid. The Favia, no sign of stress. These guys are still out. An enemy's still doing its thing. But like I said, the fucking salt works, man. That's all you gotta fucking remember. And like I said, if you want to be part of the community, like the Interstellar Oceans Project, fucking let me know, man. I'm in every social media and all that bullshit. Oh look, even the polyps on the deep water acro, they're out. Look at the algae in the back. Damn, it's hard to record. But anyways, the polyps on that guy are out, so fuck it. I mean, and that's the one I thought was gonna die. It's still kicking, so I don't know. I just threw him in the fucking sand bed. I don't keep acros in the sand bed. I didn't have a place to put it, and then he wasn't really happy up here. So I was like, yeah, fuck it. I might trade that in to anybody that wants one. I don't give a fuck. But yeah, man. I have a couple of them. You could breed them. Oh, Rainer, have you bred them yet, bro? That would be pretty badass. The engineering gobies or anything. Anything you breed is pretty badass. Fish don't stop growing, so no, I'm not getting one in my tank. I know they get big. We had at this fish store. I worked that easy 16 inches. Yeah, dude. I seen those big motherfuckers, dude, like almost 2 feet long. But Atkins, yeah, you're right, man. Just wait to get a bigger tank. Have a fish like that in my tank will become stunned over time and shorten lifespan. Yep. And yeah, like you said, fish don't stop growing. But yeah, guys. And if you have any questions, man, throw them in the live chat right now because I'm gonna end the live chat because I got a lot of people coming in. I even got some other reefers that actually came to look at my tank and shit real quick. And I'm all fucking procrastinating and shit. And if Calypso, if you're still watching, let me know if you didn't go live right now, bro. I'll start tuning in. Or anybody going live. I know Atkins, you go lives. Damn, Atkins, sometimes I miss your shit, dude, but I'm busy though. But yeah, guys, I mean, keeping the fucking tank, dude, it's not that hard. As you see right there. But that was it, man. I mean, that was today's fucking lesson and shit. Here's a freshwater fish, so you guys could check them out. I actually forgot I had these guys, and I forgot to feed for a few days. Oh well. My bad, guys. Hold on, I'm fixing the tripod so I could end the live. I can hear more people coming in. But yeah, I mean, that was pretty much it, guys. And like I said, if you have any questions, just let me know. See that? This tank's doing really good right there. And I just opened a Cash App just about yesterday. I said, why not? Damn, why is this leg shorter than other ones? There you go. So far, I've been... Rainer, I'll read your comment right now, bro. That shit was funny. What'd he say? So far, I've been successful with clownfish, snails, and aptasia. That shit's hella funny. Man, this whole time I had my glasses on and I forgot. And freshwater fish, yep. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna end the live now. If you have any last minute questions, comments, concerns, complaints, fucking type them in. But like I said, fucking hopefully you'll fucking start joining the project. If you have a spare tank or whatever and you want to try the salt and shit, let me know, man. Even if you want to set up a little 2-gallon tank like mine over there, I'll fucking help you out. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing really too much with the fucking with the product or anything. I mean, you saw me do it. You saw my fucking formula for success, and like I said, I do that with all the tanks. So no matter what tank I use, that's everything I do. Everything you saw me do in the water change, that's all I do. And then to understand what's going on, just look back into this live. But yeah, check the interview that I did on Incredible Javier. I'll probably post that link in the comment or something. But yeah, man, if you have any more questions, let me know. But that's going to be the end of the stream, guys. Thank you guys for watching. And Atkins, great stream, man. Thank you, G. You're the best, bro. You guys are all the best. But yeah, guys, I'll let you guys go. I'm just going to type in my last comment. And as soon as it pops up, we're good. All right, guys. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. I mean, hopefully you guys learned something and hopefully took something out of it and all that shit. But thank you guys for watching, guys. So I'm just gonna end the live now, and thank you guys. So see you next time. Make sure you join in next time. Rainer, yeah, Rainer. When I get my my scale and shit, I'll break this scale. But like I said, I'm gonna get that triple beam balance. All right. Aquatic Amigos, thank you, G. Thank you for staying tuned and everything. And yeah, man. So I'll let you guys all go, and thank you guys for watching.